Sword and Shield is the National Honor Society, which honors high academic achievement in homeland security, intelligence, emergency management, and all protective security disciplines. Now I'm going to have a hard time talking. The purpose of the organization shall be to promote critical thinking, high scholarship, and professional development, to further enhance the ethical standards of the protective security professions, and to cultivate a high order of personal living. The Society was established in 2010 on the campuses of St. John's University in New York. It soon became the national organization as chapters were established in academic institutions across the country. PUC was awarded our charter in 2016, and we inducted our first class that year also. The candidates who are now presented for induction have achieved the high academic standard required by the Order of the Sword and Shield and are worthy of recognition by their college and the organization for their notable academic achievements and scholarship. Today we recognize true academic achievement and acceptance of the core values of the Society. The first candle here, see if I can do two things at once. Remove the air conditioner so hopefully it won't blow them out. The first candle represents ethics for the ethical standards displayed by each of these candidates today and in the future as they assume their professional careers. The second candle signifies excellence as evidenced by their academic accomplishments achieved by each of these candidates. The third embodies knowledge and the commitment to continue the pursuit of personal and professional growth long after these candidates have entered the professional world. The fourth candle stands for peace as the ultimate goal of all who enter into these disciplines honored by our society. Again, the four candles represent ethics, excellence, knowledge, and peace. I've got just a couple comments. A friend of mine just published a book. Her name is Dr. Shauna Springer. She is a clinical psychologist, lives here in the North Bay, teaches at Berkeley. She has specialized in post-traumatic stress among first responders and particularly the military. She's worked closely with the Marines who've served the last decade to 15 years. Her new book just came out, and the foreword for it was written by Colonel Grossman. Grossman is well known in the psychology rounds, especially post-traumatic stress, for his two books on killing and on combat. And they were looking at the psychology of the warrior mentality and soldiers. On combat, really broadened to look at all those that go into combat domestically, not with guns necessarily, but law enforcement, fire, and rescue personnel. Grossman wrote the foreword to her new book. And I was reading the book, it just came out 2 weeks ago, and I read it last time I worked nights. But it was sort of interesting, the way he started this book. And again, he's known for writing about the trauma that professionals go through on the battlefield. The Bible states, greater love has no one than this, that they give their lives for their friends, John 15:13. To which he would add, there are many ways to give your life. Sometimes the greatest love is not to sacrifice your life, but to live a life of sacrifice. Looking again at John 15:13, it is worth noting that many people will die for their friends. Audie Murphy was the most decorated American soldier in World War II. When asked why he did it, his response was, "They were killing my friends." Thus, a lot of people will die for our friends, but what kind of person will die for strangers? What manner of love is this, that they will go out the door every day, going into harm's way, and putting their life on the line for people they don't even know? In On Killing, Grossman says, I wrote about how medical personnel in combat draw their strength and courage in a unique manner, motivated by a powerful drive to protect theirs. Not just medical personnel, but all peacetime civilian responders are always trying to save lives. Police officers use deadly force when they sincerely believe that there is no other option to prevent an immediate threat to loss of life, limb, or grievous bodily harm. When a police officer must shoot someone, the moment the individual is no longer a threat, that same cop will call for an ambulance, leap on the body and apply a tourniquet, or begin CPR or other first aid to save that person's life. This poem then applies to all our non-military peacetime responders. It's entitled The Healers, and it's written by a World War I veteran. But they take not their courage from anger that blinds the hot being. They take not their pity from weakness, tender and yet seeing. They endure the eyes of the watcher in hell and not to swerve, for an hour from the faith that they follow, the light that they serve. This light in the tiger-mad welter, they serve and they save. What song shall be worthy to sing to them, braver than the brave? Grossman goes on, the opposite of evil is not good. The opposite of evil is love, because evil is the absence of love. Love defeats evil as light vanishes the darkness. And our first responders truly embody the sacrificial love that Jesus was talking about in John 15:13. Indeed, the source of their relentless courage can be found in 1 John 4:18. Perfect love casts out fear. Dr. Springer's book is called Relentless Courage. He goes on to say that that book could have been called Relentless Love, because that is really the basis of all that we do, going into harm's way to try and save others. Okay, ladies, will you stand? I'm going to recite the oath of the organization, and then when I finish the oath, I'll have you go through another part. We who stand before you today as candidates for the Order of the Sword and Shield National Honor Society promise to stand ready to uphold our mission of protection and resilience, to stand strong and remain dedicated to public safety, to apply our education and experience in order to confront the threat of terrorism and natural disaster, to be determined in the face of adversity, to be firm in the face of immorality, and when needed, to provide compassion, continuity, recovery in our communities, throughout our nation and around the world. Okay, if you'll repeat after me. I accept membership into the Order of the Sword and Shield, understanding that in doing so, I assume the responsibility of continuing to maintain its values of ethics, of excellence, of knowledge, and of peace. I pledge to promote these core values and to use my education for the benefit of the community, my nation, and the world in which we live. If you will come up now and sign the induction certificate here, you will be accepted into this chapter. able to spell your name, so don't mess it up. It is ink, not pencil. Who's going first? We'll sign later on the next. I've got a blank for Hewitt already filled in. Okay, welcome to the Order of the Sword and Shield. Stay up here. Now for the blame, the good stuff. Pat, certificate of membership that Omicron Sigma Sigma. You get to wear these soon on our cords with your challenge coin for the order.
Thank you.
Rachel, it was a big deal to get your certificate. They spelt your name wrong, and that's after you filled in and typed your own name. The way, yeah, they couldn't spell it that time. It came today. I got it today. Congratulations. Next year.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is the induction ceremony. Thank you all for coming.